So recently I made an episode targeting big yellowfin bream on cicada pattern lures in under the trees where the cicadas are getting blown out occasionally by the wind and landing on the water in the tidal section of the river. I mentioned in that one that a couple of years ago my mate Hamo and I had some really good fishing doing exactly this. Well, Hamo watched my episode and he rang me up to say, you know what, when we were doing it, we fished them a lot slower than that, and he's absolutely right. I was working those cicada lures reasonably quickly because I wanted to cover a fair bit of water. There didn't seem to be a lot of fish there, and I remembered that Hamo likes to just put them in there and just shake them and keep them in there for as long as possible and really tempt those fish to come up. So I've come out again today with the cicada lures, and I'm going to try the Hamo technique, see what we can catch. And I'm also going to work my way further upstream beyond tidal water, or certainly to the upper limits of it, and see if we can find a bass as well as the bream. This should be a lot of fun. So as I said, I'm starting down in the lower tidal reaches where I fished the other day, and I get my first looker almost immediately. Oh! That's encouraging. And he came back. And he came back again. I don't think he'll come back again, though. Still, it's worth a try. Nothing ventured. Oh, he did come back. Oh, come on. Oh, I got him. Oh, had him. That bream actually had the lure clamped in its jaws and swum towards me. I've downsized my lure slightly since the other day, and I'm fishing it slower. Big stingray in there. It's always worth casting near these rays, as bream and other fish sometimes follow them. But not today, it seems. Things are actually pretty quiet, but I'll keep plugging away. The cicadas are certainly in good voice, which can't be a bad thing. Keep shaking that lure. It will happen, I'm sure. I just need to be patient and have confidence. Ooh, that nor'easter's really starting to kick in now. It's blowing. Got him. Not particularly big, this one. Maybe downsizing the lure will also downsize the fish. Oh, he's not a bad bream. Not like the ones I was getting the other day, though. I think I could probably risk lifting that one, even on that little treble. Yeah, there we go. Huh. Handsome fish. On the little cicada, fished slowly, Hamo style. One. And as it turned out, it was the only one, so I soon decided to make a move by running upstream, as much to get away from the strengthening wind as anything else. But I do love it here, near the river's upper tidal limits. It's gorgeous country, and sometimes the fishing can be pretty good too. It's a matter of putting that cicada lure in as close to the structure as possible and keeping it in the strike zone, shimmering and shaking just like the real thing. Oh, and I've gone back to the slightly bigger cicada pattern too. Think positively, I reckon. Notice how slowly I work the cicada pattern lure through that narrow band near the bank. That's the hot zone where the fish lurk and wait for hapless cicadas and other insects to fall or be blown into the water. A lot of the time I'm simply shaking the rod tip to make the lure vibrate slightly and send out little distress messages. I'm mainly using the reel to pick up the slack generated while I'm doing this. Some presentations can last a minute or more before I crank the lure in and fire it out towards the next likely nook or snag pile. It's a terrific way to fish. Very peaceful too, at least until lightning strikes. Oh, that's a good fish. That's a good fish. I don't know if I'm going to get him out on this gear. It's a bass, and there's a bream following him. Ooh. Bass and bream in the same bit of water. How cool is that? Oh, I thought I was in trouble on the bream gear then, but luckily he sort of went the right way. On the cicada. Nice. Not as big as I thought he was from the strike. Wow, move some water. There we go. Look at that. Lovely cicada eating bass. Oh, I do love it when you can get a bream strike one cast and a bass strike the next. I don't know how long he is. It's about 41 or 42 centimetres to the tail tips, probably about 37 or 38 to the fork. Not an overly fat fish, but in really good nick. Oh, I love the smell of bass. They've just got that unique freshwater ecosystem smell to them, really nice. I'll stick him in the live well. That's a really promising start, especially in the middle of a bright hot day. I wonder if any more of those bronzed beauties are on the job. Only one way to find out. Keep firing that lure in there and working it seductively. Mind you, it's an absolute treat just being here and having this special place all to myself. Listen to that bird life. Oh, yes. Oh, I pulled out. That was a big bass. Ooh, I might have been lucky that I did pull out on this gear. It's always worth firing it back in there, but that one definitely felt the hooks. I don't think he or she will play again today. Oh, that was a good fish. Got to be one in under that tree, surely. That's the one. Sometimes even the most likely looking spots don't produce. I bet there's a fish in there, it just isn't interested in what I'm offering at the moment. Oh, it's nerve-wracking. It's so tense. Keep probing. That's a good one. For me, the contrast between the serenity of my surroundings and the sheer violence of what could be unleashed at any instant is one of the most addictive aspects of this caper. I absolutely love it. I'm definitely going to get myself into trouble up here on this gear. Should go to the bait caster, but I'm having too much fun. I'm running 6-pound braid and an 8-pound leader on my bream outfit. Hardly the ideal gun for some of the bears that lurk up here. Oh, I can see a very likely looking slot coming up. That's the spot. Be very surprised if I get that out. Oh wow, I would have put money on that. But they'll be here somewhere for sure. Maybe this next cast. Check out that tangle of submerged timber in here to my right. Definitely tiger country. Oh, there's one just had a good look at it and he took it. Oh, I'm not going to stop this one. Oh, he's found timber. Come on, come out. That was silly. Sticking with this gear. Oh, I got him out. Oh, he's a nice bass. He's a nice bass. Back off a tiny bit now that I've got him out of the bad stuff. He was in the timber there for a while. Oh. He came up and just boiled on it once, and I let it sit for a bit longer and then twitched it again. Oh, he's towing me into the bad country. Oh wow, it's a big bass. He swallowed it. Got him. Oh, he's inhaled that cicada. That's a lovely fish. Oh, how deep have you got it? Pretty deep. Look at it in there. Oh, that's a bit more solid than the first one. I don't know if you can see the cicada lure in there. I'm going to have to get the long nose pliers out. Luckily there's only one set of trebles in it and they've only got very small barbs. So I think it'll come out okay. Whew. What a chunk. Oh, lucky to get him. Oh, I'm tempting fate sticking with the bream gear, but I'm having too much fun. Pop him in the live well with his mate. That's it now. I can't put another one in there. I've got my bag limit. Not that I'm going to keep them, but they're in my possession at the moment. Actually, they're both over 35, so I really need to let one go straight away. I'll let the small one go and put this one in the well. Whew. Hands are shaking. This is so much fun. And there's more to come, so tighten that drag back up. Oh, straight away. Oh, didn't even move it. It was a smaller fish. I'd say a bass. Could have been a bream. Oh, there's one there. Still there. Oh, he's not a bad fish. Tease him up, it's a bass, and he's straight into the timber. Oh, he's a big fish. He's a big fish. He's over that log. Gotta see if I can get in there. Oh, I got him over it. Can't believe it. He's not out of bad stuff yet, though. Oh, I was pretty lucky. Pretty lucky. That's a big bass too. That's a really big bass. Oh, that's a thumper. Oh, you've got to be kidding. That's the biggest bass I've ever caught on this lighter gear out of a river. I can't believe I got him over that log. You wait until you see this thing. Oh, what? Oh, it's just pinned in the corner, but it's in there well. Get a pair of pliers. Oh, I'm really shaking now. Get a look at that. I've got to get a length. I'll measure him properly on a mat in a minute, but he goes about 51 to the tips on the side of the boat. Extraordinary. I could see him on the other side of the log, and luckily he didn't go through underneath it. He just hung there, and maybe because I didn't pull so hard on him on the bream gear. Oh boy, that is living dangerously. 50 centimetre wild bass out of a river on bream gear. I wouldn't recommend it. Those two fish measured 51 and 44 centimetres to the tail tips. The big one's length no doubt exaggerated by being a so-called fantail bass with a genetic trait that leads to oversized fins. But I'm not complaining. What a pair of beauties, and it sure felt great to slide them back into the river. But the bite wasn't over yet, as I was about to discover, although of course they can't all be big bruises. Oh, straight on it. Hit it as it landed. Small bass, I think. Probably have another go, that one. Yeah, he sure did. Landed it back in the same spot and he nailed it. I didn't think he felt any hooks or anything the first time. Look at that little beauty. Chunky little fella. Cheeky little fella. Yeah. Just that shake. I love that shake. Just a nice chunky 30, pushing 30 centimetre one, I guess. Yeah. 29, 28, something like that. So fat. Oh, next cast. Oh, pulled out. Ooh, that was a little bit bigger fish. Oh, and he's got a mate. They're stacked up. 3 strikes in 3 casts. I don't think that either of those will come back, but they might have another mate. Oh, he did have a mate. Not a bad fish either. I don't know, not overly big. Wow, they're stacked up in there. There must be stuff falling out of that tree. wonder if there's any more in there. That's crazy. Yes. Oh, pulled out. That's 5 bass I've hooked in 5 casts. This is nuts. That's the first cast that I haven't raised one on. Whew. Finally a wake up to me in there. And interestingly, that was the end of the action. It was almost like someone had thrown the off switch. As fast as it all turned on, it seems to have turned off, and I've seen this happen so many times with bass in rivers. You'll get a bite window of 45 minutes or an hour at a crazy time of the day. I mean, that was 1:30 in the afternoon, and now as it's getting later, they've actually gone quieter. That might just about do me, but what a fantastic session. Listen, if you haven't had a crack with these cicada lures in the summertime on bream and bass and all kinds of other fish too, lots of things eat cicadas, you might be in for some surprises. Get out and give it a go. It is really good fun. And if you've enjoyed watching it, make sure you give me a like down below. And if you don't already subscribe to the channel, come on, what's stopping you? All right, I'm going to have a few more casts and then head for home, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, tight lines.